Maliki. When you're saying Maliki Yawmiddin, you're entrusting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with your affairs. You're delegating your affairs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When you recite Maliki Yawmiddin, you realize the mighty power and control of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through Maliki Yawmiddin. And then you realize everything else is in reality powerless. No one can help himself or others without the help and aid of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So what's left for you to do is to entrust Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with your affairs. Leave your matters to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Entrust Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with your affairs in reality and not just in talk. And don't fear no one but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you entrust your affairs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as this verse teaches you, while comprehending the previous verse that He is Rabbil Alameen, you realize that the worst that anyone can do to you is merely carrying out what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has written for you. So why would you worry and why would you fear? If you entrust Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with your affairs in reality and not just in talk, then everything that happens to you is good. Even if you can't understand it, even if it appears as it's bad to you. When you delegate your affairs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you won't care if you wake up happy or sad, because you don't know where goodness lies for you. You don't know if the goodness is in what makes you happy. But you do know one thing for sure, and that is if you truly entrust Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with your life and affairs, then the khair, all the goodness is in what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose for you and what occurs. If you entrust Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with your affairs and you submit to Him, and then you were to see the unforeseen and the future, you would choose exactly what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose for you, and you would realize that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's choices for you are the best. His choices for you, when you entrust Him, are better than the choices you make for your own self. When you comprehend Maliki Yawmiddin, and you understand it's delegating your affairs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you remind yourself of this by fard 17 times a day, and many more times as a sunnah, you will no longer have anxiety or excessive thinking about any matters of this dunya. Matters that you have no power or might in. When you comprehend Maliki Yawmiddin, you will leave your matters to Maliki Yawmiddin and live at ease and peace. One who delegates his affairs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be sufficed by Him. He will have no fear over the future or of anyone or anything. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala never disappoints one who truly entrusts Him with his affairs. Delegate your affairs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and you will be at ease. And you will be given until you are pleased. In summary, when you recite Maliki Yawmiddin, realize you're delegating your affairs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Have the intention of that while you're reciting that verse. Next halaqah inshallah, we'll start with the next verse. Wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam.